If you think swallowing a handful of vitamins is uncomfortable, check out this python. That's one hungry serpent. Pythons can swallow their prey whole, no matter its size. Well, that's disturbing. If you have ophidiophobia, aka the fear of snakes, you might want to close your eyes and just listen. See what I did there? So, why do pythons eat this way? Do they unhinge their jaws when they do it? And can a python swallow a human? Pythons live across Africa, Asia, and Australia. Though they're not indigenous to North America, invasive species now live in Florida's Everglades. Have fun, Floridians. They prefer warm, humid climates, but they will inhabit a range of environments ranging from rainforests and swamps to dunes. There are about 40 species of pythons. Smaller species, like the anthill python, measure about 61 centimeters long. But the longest ever recorded was a reticulated python that measured 10 meters. That's longer than a stretch limousine. No, thank you. Pythons are ambush predators. While smaller pythons like the ball python feed on small rodents, lizards, and birds, larger species eat monkeys, antelopes, and pigs. What? Pythons use their fangs to latch onto their prey's neck and shoulder region. Since these snakes are not venomous, they use constriction to kill by coiling around their victims until they stop breathing. A python can sense its prey's heartbeat, and once it stops, the snake stops squeezing. This is when things get freaky. When an animal dies, bacteria will make its body expand. Then it's even more difficult for the python to swallow its prey, so the snake must eat it as fast as possible. The story that pythons dislocate their jaws when they swallow their dinner is a myth. The truth is that their jaws have evolved flexible ligaments. So these snakes can open their mouths wider than their bodies and swallow prey as large as alligators. They've even been bold enough to attack big cats. In 2019, visitors on safari saw a giant python attacking a leopard in Kenya. Both predators had been stalking an impala, but the python decided to take a chance on the unsuspecting leopard. While the python did its darndest to constrict the leopard, the feline wriggled free from its grasp. While pythons have teeth that they use to bite, they don't use them for chewing. Instead, they rely on digestive enzymes to break down their food. And depending on the temperature of their surroundings and the size of the prey, it can take weeks just to digest one meal. During this time, they are bloated, sluggish, and vulnerable. Again, like me at Thanksgiving. But the caloric intake of that meal is worth the risk to the insatiable python. Although animals get fully swallowed, the python can still be vulnerable to attack. In 2005, rangers found a dead python with an alligator's tail bursting from its midsection. Scientists thought the alligator may have clawed its way out of the python's stomach. Jeez, nature is so hardcore. As you've probably guessed, if pythons can swallow alligators, they can swallow humans too. Though it's rare, I'm sorry to say it does happen. In 2018, an Indonesian woman went missing. She was last seen in her vegetable garden. A day later, a search party found her sandals and machete, and about 30 meters away was a giant, bloated, reticulated python. They killed the snake, and when they cut it open, they found the woman's body inside. Okay, that's terrifying. Regardless of their human-eating reputations, people still keep pythons as pets. You can find a ball python at almost any standard pet store like Petco. But if you decide to get one, do your research first. Many people who buy a small python don't realize how big it'll grow. Often when these owners no longer want to care for their pets, they release their pythons into the wild. This has caused a major ecological imbalance in places like the Everglades. the snakes become apex predators and disrupt the food chain. In 2021, the state of Florida organized the Python Challenge event, and participants were encouraged to find and humanely kill Burmese pythons for cash prizes. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, these snakes threaten human safety. It may sound cruel, but this is an unfortunate consequence of introducing an invasive species into an ecosystem. Often it's due to the exotic pet trade. Sometimes it's best for wild animals to stay in the wild. But pythons aren't the only reptiles clashing with humans. See how a Florida man catches an alligator with a trash can on another episode of Crazy Creatures.